Hello students in COMM8400 section 1. I'm here today to offer you a bit of a walkthrough of what I would like you to work on in your self-directed time outside of class. And I've organized the information roughly in the order that it's probably best to follow it in the course shell. And what I'll do is I'm going to share that course shell now and talk to it as I work through it. So this is the course shell right here. And what I would like you to think about is, let me go back to my week 1. There we go, my week 1. So you remember that I had noted some things in the work before class time. I would encourage you to take a look at them. And in particular, there's a couple of things here that I'm going to point out as quite valuable. I would like you to think about, work on this little activity for yourself and think through how you are going to deliberately record your notes for your class here and all your classes. How are you going to be able to recall for tests and for reference later on, and to help train your brain to bring the information forward when you need it? I'm a fan of pencil or pen and paper and writing things down. I actually find that makes information stickier and stays in my brain. But I encourage you to find a system that works for you and continue working it and continue improving it. There's also tips here, a link about how to use Zoom for students, and as well, please complete this student survey so that I can learn a little bit more about you and I get a sense of what topics I would put more emphasis on in the class. So I'd appreciate it very much if you could do that for me. So I'm going to scroll down now. This is the in-class activity information that we had. We worked through this in class. And it was also, I'd like to remind you to take a look at this video. Time blocking tips for your calendar, how to organize yourself and keep your time under control so you can succeed in what will be a complicated timing through multiple courses and as assignments start coming in. I'm going to be putting all of the information, activities, they'll appear in the calendar within Conestoga for this class. You can't change that yourself, but what you can do is take a feed from that and put it into your own Google Calendar, for example. So there are ways to do that. But this is a mindset for your own personal calendar to organize your own time about how you will get work done. And this is on paper and pencil. It's a bit of a promotional video for a certain kind of time block planner book, but the information that's presented does not have to fit into that planner. You can use any notebook you want and just follow and create a system you wish. I encourage you to look at that. I think there's value in it. I'm going to scroll now to the after class activities. You will see a video here. That's a bit of direction for me, a little mini lecture to walk through one part of the lesson. And then there is an activity I'd like you to do, and this is one that will be submitted into the Dropbox. And there's a video inside the in-class task 1. It'll show you how to use the Dropbox. So please get in practice of doing this and complete the worksheet, put your name and student number on it, and then drop it in. Follow the instructions that are there, work your way through it. And if there's any questions, please bring them to class on Monday. Post them in the discussion board that's in the discussion forums, the questions about COMM8400, or send me an email. But I encourage you to work through the process. I've offered some tutorial videos in there. Then there's another video here about a self-guided lesson for interference to communication, how things get messed up. And there's a bit of an activity here I'd like you to work on. Think through words, that English language words that frustrate you. Think about what goes wrong with them. Just kind of work through them. There's a couple of links in there. That one I just would ask you to work on yourself. Now, coming up next week in our class is quiz 1. First quiz we're going to have. So I've put some information in the after class activities to prepare you to give you some experience in experimenting with the quiz function within Conestoga. So what I've done is there is a bit of information here about, this is a practice quiz. I created one with goofy questions in it, but what I want this to help you do is set up your computer, your laptop or your desktop, so that you can properly download the Respondus software you require to make it work. All of the quizzes we do online require that extra bit of software downloaded and put in there. So this quiz, even though it doesn't count, forces you to work to set that up. And if it doesn't work, send me a message. We'll talk about it. We'll get it figured out. But there's a tech contact as well you can ask questions of to get your computer set up. But it's a question of going through it one time, not under pressure. And there's also here some practice questions. This is a collection of questions. Random questions come up 5 at a time. Every time you restart it, you'll get a different selection of questions. They're very similar to the questions you'll see on the quiz coming up for quiz 1. So try it, see what you get right or wrong. It will not give you the answers, but the process of you working to remember helps you remember better the next time and prompts you, oh, I should go and look that information up or ask the professor if something doesn't make sense. So that's the process of working with the information I ask about. At the end of your work week, your school work time for COMM8400, I would ask you to take this exit ticket. Think about something, answer the question that's in it. It's just a 1 or 2 sentence answer I'm looking for, just to prompt you to think about what was interesting about this week's lessons for you. And this week, because it is the first time, the first week we've been together, I would like you to take this survey and just let me know what you would like me to start doing in class, what you'd ask me to stop doing in class, and what you'd like me to continue doing in class. So think about your experience so far in this first week in COMM8400. And really that was the reason why I created the video like this. I wanted to give you a chance to walk through some of the things, get the experiment. I will always try to put things in order in the course shell and organize them there for you. And you can use a little arrow button to move to the next one, to the next one. And I like using links in between. So thanks much for hanging in for this video. If you have any questions, discussion board, send me an email message or bring them to class next week. You have a good one. Bye-bye.